New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani is under pressure again, but this time the controversy is not about a policy decision or a speech. It is about how he responded to attacks on his wife. What started with old illustration work by Rama Dowaji has now turned into a bigger debate in New York politics about Palestine, Islamophobia, political pressure, and whether Mamdani is giving too much ground to bad faith attacks. The issue began when several right wing outlets in the US published reports about past illustration work by Rama Dobaji, who is a freelance illustrator and New York's First Lady. The reports focused on a piece she illustrated for a publication that included work by Palestinian author Susan Abul Hawa. The piece itself was not written by Abul Hawa, it was a short story by a displaced resident of Gaza published in an online collection of writings from the war. Mamdani later said Dowaji had simply been commissioned by a third party and had never met or worked directly with Abul Hawa. Abul Hawa herself later confirmed that, because the reports were not really about the illustration itself, they centered on past comments made by Abul Hawa, some of which have been widely criticized as inflammatory. Those comments included harsh language about Zionism, Israel, and people she described as complicit in the war on Gaza. Critics say some of that language crossed a line and appeared to generalize about Jewish people. Abul Hawa rejects that, saying her words were aimed at Zionist power structures and supporters of Israel's actions in Gaza, not Jews as a whole. But once those comments were linked to Dowaji's illustration work, the story quickly became political, especially in a city like New York, where debates around Israel and Palestine are already high charged. Mamdani tried to distance his wife from the controversy. At a press conference, he said Dowaji had never met Abul Hawa and had not seen the social media posts in question. He also condemned Abul Hawa's rhetoric, calling it patently unacceptable and reprehensible. At the same time, he stressed that his administration stands against bigotry in all forms. That response may have been aimed at shutting the story down quickly, but instead it opened him up to criticism from another direction, because some of his own supporters believe he handled it badly. Their argument is this: Mamdani was not being asked to answer for something his wife said. He was being pushed to respond to a manufactured guilt by association story. And by rushing to condemn Abul Hawa and explain his wife's distance from her, critics say he ended up validating a bad faith narrative, one that treats even indirect links to Palestinian advocacy as suspicious. In other words, the scrutiny now is not only about the original story, it is about whether Mamdani gave too much ground to a political attack. Some pro Palestinian voices who have supported Mamdani in the past say he should have held the line more firmly. They argued that these attacks are part of a familiar pattern. Any support for Palestinian rights or even proximity to Palestinian voices is quickly framed as anti Jewish extremism. Activist Shail Ben Ephraim said Mamdani was wrong to apologize and explain. Palestinian writer Mohammed Al-Kurd suggested it was fair to judge Mamdani against his own stated politics on Palestine. Former UN official Craig Mugheiber urged him not to let fear shape his politics, and Abul Hawa herself, while saying she was not personally angry with him, warned that every concession would only invite more attacks. That is really the heart of the criticism, not that Mamdani responded, but that he responded in a way some see as defensive and politically weak. Because New York is not just any city, it is home to large Jewish, Muslim, Arab, and immigrant communities, and debates over Israel and Palestine often play out here with unusual intensity. It is also the city still deeply marked by 9/11, which makes Islamophobia especially potent in local politics. Mamdani, as the first Muslim mayor of the New York City, has already faced intense scrutiny over his views on Palestine. He has repeatedly been accused of anti-Jewish sentiment for calling Israel's actions in Gaza a genocide, even as he insists he governs for all New Yorkers. So, for many of his supporters, this latest episode does not look isolated. It looks like part of a broader pattern where Mamdani and even people around him are judged by a harsher standard. This is where the debate becomes bigger than one controversy. Mamdani has had to answer for everything from his own language on Palestine to his wife's online activity and freelance work, but at the same time, openly Islamophobic attacks against him often face very little consequence. A recent example came from from Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville, who responded to a photo of Mamdani at iftar by pairing it with an image from the September 11 attacks and writing, "The enemy is inside the gates." For many people, that contrast says everything. Peripheral links to Palestinian speech generate outrage and political crisis. Blatant anti-Muslim rhetoric often does not. On the surface, it is about Mamdani's response to criticism involving his wife, but underneath, it is about something much bigger. Who gets forced to prove their distance from controversial speech, who gets presumed guilty by association, and who is allowed to stay silent when the attacks are openly hateful. For some New Yorkers, Mamdani's response looked careful and pragmatic. For others, it looked like a warning sign that even a mayor who rose on a progressive platform can be pushed into retreat when Palestine is involved.